All right, yo, Gamer King 5. Are you the Lolicon?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, okay, perfect.
Hot.
Okay, so we're gonna be I'm gonna be recording on OBS. If you guys are cool with me
Mm-hmm.
recording you guys.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Okay. So, what was how do we start this? Okay, let me just introduce myself. Welcome to episode 6 of the I'm Pissed podcast. I'm gonna be joined here today by four guests: Vika Boy, Marmalade, Chief, and Gamer King 5. So
Mhm.
Gamer King 5, who are you? Just give a brief rundown of what you do and who you are.
Well, I'm a small YouTuber. I do commentaries or rebuttals on things like lolicons or sometimes Sonic content or different like various content. And I kind of like research or like debate people on Twitter about lolicons and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And
Hmm.
so what is the consensus? What is your opinion on Lolly and stuff like that?
I think that it's fine. I know that it's weird. I know that's weird, but I think it's fine as long as it's not harming anyone and it doesn't cause any problem for anyone.
So would you call yourself a lolicon?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, do you agree with the consensus that lolicons are pedophiles?
No, I don't agree with it. I agree
Why?
that well, lolicons can't be like pedophiles because I believe pedophilia is the attraction to real children.
That's
And
not
Where did
that's
you
not
for
what
read that
pedophile means. That's not
description?
what pedophile means.
pedophile is the attraction to children.
Yes.
In order, yes, in order for pedophilia to be diagnosed, age is a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Age is a huge factor. In
Not
fiction,
exact.
age is
Well, I mean, if because see, look, here's the problem with anime. Obviously, the whole 10,000-year-old dragon thing doesn't work because anime isn't real. So we can't use age as a factor of determining someone's age in anime. You realize that? Like
yeah.
in an anime, say for example, let's take a little girl who behaves like a little
Hmm.
girl, who looks like a little girl. Pretty much everything is a little girl, but the anime says she's 10,000. Are you gonna interpret that as like, oh yeah, that's the 10,000-year-old girl, or that's a little kid?
Yeah, you probably might confirm that as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So if
but
you're
like,
if you're oh sorry, go ahead.
oh, but like, if well, what about like for different other medias? Like, for example, like if there was someone who was an adult, but like with a teenage body, and they had like in a childish age, would that be pedophilia in that
Um,
sense?
Can you repeat that?
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
really
Can you
know
repeat
what you
that?
just said.
Like, if it was like she had, it was an adult girl. She has a teenage body. She has the mindset of like probably a teenager, but
Mm-hmm.
she's like a child. Would that
Then
be
then
like
you,
Well,
but
children,
because
if
to
you
like
ended
children,
it with her saying it's a child, then isn't it pedophilia then?
yeah. Well, what?
can
Okay,
you
so
repeat
is
yourself?
is her? Are we talking about a real girl? Or are we talking about an anime girl?
Anime girl.
So you're saying if an anime girl is adult in age but behaves and looks like a child, is that what you're asking me?
No, no, no. Like if it's okay, like if she has an adult body,
Mm-hmm.
adult mentality, but is a child, like she's like 12 or
Oh yeah,
7,
okay.
then would that
Then
be
that's
pedophilia?
different because in anime, like I said, age doesn't play a factor in determining someone's age in anime. So it'd be like a reverse of the 10,000-year-old dragon. It'd be like the 12-year-old girl who looks, acts, and
Hmm.
behaves like an adult woman. So if you're
Hmm.
attracted to that girl who has the adult body and behaves like an adult, then obviously you're not a pedophile because you're not attracted to a child body, a child mind, whatever it may be.
Well, wouldn't like lolicons, because like being a lolicon, I'm attracted to the cuteness or maybe like the innocence of it. And I know that many lolicons, and this is anecdotal, but I know many lolicons are just attracted to like the cuteness and not the fact that it's like a child. And there could be like many reasons why someone might be attracted to a lolly. It might be just for the taboo nature of it and not necessarily like it's because of them being a child.
So what you're telling me, you're kind of contradicting yourself. You're telling me that as a lolicon, you're attracted to the cuteness and the innocence, but then you're saying that you're not attracted to them because they're a child. The innocence and cuteness can be interpreted as it being like a pedophilic nature. You understand that, right?
Well,
What about their innocence is attractive to you? It's because they're young, right? That's what innocence is.
Innocence in and of
innocence,
itself is kind of weird.
Yeah, like
like, isn't
what
like,
can you elaborate what you mean by innocence and cuteness?
well, it's kind of hard. Uh, like something adorable, doing something lewd or doing something
But why
not
are
safe
they
for
why are they adorable?
uh maybe because of the eyes or yeah, or probably because of the small or the petite body.
The petite no, okay, this is the thing. These a child I wouldn't describe a child's body as petite. I would describe a child's body as a child's body. Petite is applied when it's like an adult woman with like a small figure, kind of less developed than say for example an adult with double D tits. So I feel like you're kind of tiptoeing around the idea. I feel like what you're trying to tell me is that yes, the innocence, the age, the size, the mindset is what attracts you. I feel like that's what you're trying to say, but you're kind of tiptoeing around.
Yeah. Well, not the mindset
Oh,
because like not the mindset. I'm not attracted to like the mindset of like lollies. I'm
but
attracted to
you're
like
attracted to the physical body of the child, right?
Bro,
right.
that's worse.
Yeah, that's kind of that's it's strange. So that's
I mean, I wouldn't say it's worse. It's definitely like fucked up for me personally to like hear you say that and then try
I
to
mean,
make it sound good. Like,
yeah.
I
You
mean,
I'm
realize
gonna let you
that
go
by
ahead and
virtue
try to
that's
explain it
pedophilia.
though.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
pedophilia. Well, do you know what like pedophiles are attracted to? Like from
Children.
what I understand. Uh, Go ahead.
Yeah, pedophiles are attracted to children. Body type, behavior. There's a lot of factors that play into it. But in this case, and I want to make one thing clear. I am not calling lolicons or pedophiles for that matter child molesters. I want to make that very clear because if you're a child molester, you would have to be committing the action of having sex with a child. So
I agree with
I'm not calling you a child molester. What I'm calling
that.
you, and I feel it's very justified, is a pedophile because there's no loophole where you can say, oh, it's fine because it's animated. No, there's no loophole in the definition. It doesn't clarify. Oh, it has to be real though. No, if pedophiles are attracted to children, behaviors, body types, age factors can play into it as well. But that's what a pedophile is. So
Uh,
pretty much, yeah.
well, hold on. Okay. So, hold on.
You go ahead.
Okay. So,
If you need to, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna need some time to think about that.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, I want to ask you
Let's.
because I've been, or sorry, go ahead. Are you gonna respond to the point?
Nah, you can go.
So what I want to ask you, I have one question for you. So I've been bombarded with a bunch of lolicons on my Twitter accounts, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to know your opinion on many because I've had to block these accounts, specifically the ones that send me child porn or animated child porn. I guess is the better way of putting it for you. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that? How do you feel about lolicons sending me pretty much drawn CP?
I don't like it. Like even like I kind of like retweeted that like where you called them out and said that this was like not cool because like if you was a minor like that would be like illegal and like you don't want to see that stuff and like lolicons like what I believe is that we should like kind of stay to ourselves. People shouldn't really be bothering us as long as we're not harming people.
Well, let me tell you, I
Yeah,
think regardless of someone's age, you shouldn't be spamming them with pornography.
yeah, and I don't believe that. Like I
And
don't think
let's just say
they
I
should.
am a minor. Let's just say I am a minor.
Hmm.
Would that be illegal for them to be sending me porn?
Yeah, yeah, it should be at
Um.
least in the states.
Well, I hate.
So is it only illegal because like you would be sending it to him being underage, not because
Well,
of like what it is?
like probably because of what it is. Yeah, I mean, like,
But if it's because of what it is, then how do you feel the way you do about it?
oh, like, how do I feel? I mean,
I
like,
mean,
even
because
if
you just said that like if he was a minor and you had sent it to him, that should be illegal. And then I
yeah,
just asked you, why would it be illegal? You didn't say because you're sending it to a minor. You said because of what it is. So like,
yeah,
what
because
are
of
you
what it
saying
is.
now?
It's like because if it Because if I sent you regular porn, then that would be bad because you're a minor. You shouldn't be looking at that stuff.
That's not what you said, but I'm gonna let it go. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I have a point that I want to touch on. So
Yeah.
I've seen people bring up the point of video games. They're comparing someone shooting up a bunch of victims or a bunch of civilians in GTA, and they're comparing it to the point I made about fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, oh, so if I want to shoot up a bunch of civilians in GTA, that means I'm a murderer. They're basically making that point. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I want to create a very clear differentiation between video games, something you do, like for example, like a GTA. I want to create a clear difference between playing a video game and watching porn, because when you watch porn, you have very different intentions than when you're playing something like GTA. Now,
Right.
video games are different from lolicon fetishes because you don't fetishize video games. If you want to fuck around with some civilians, I doubt you're going to be going to sleep for the rest of your day fantasizing about killing those civilians. You know what I mean? Do you understand?
Yeah. Some people do. I mean,
Yeah,
gore
some
is like
people do, but I doubt when less. So what do you have any violent video games in your room or whatever? Like
nah.
COD.
Only Persona themselves.
So
No.
let's just say, for example, I have Call of Duty. When I
Mm-hmm.
shoot people in Call of Duty, I'm not sexually fantasizing or trivializing the actions being committed, because that's not what video games are for. What porn
Right.
is it's this fantasy or this idea that you want to have this in some way correlate to you. That's why people can't make the comparison of video games with lolly porn, because they're in two different ballparks. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just want
I
to
think what
yeah, go ahead, go
oh,
ahead.
I think what they're trying to say is that like since like because I made this argument in my last video is that like uh doing said or playing said A doesn't lead you to believe or behave in said A. Like me looking at lollies isn't going to make me want to diddle a child, or it's not going to make me gain an attraction toward real children. Just like playing Call of Duty isn't going to make me like murder or shoot real people or give me the belief that killing is okay. I think that's like kind of just gist of the argument.
Of course, but we just established earlier that your attraction to lolly was because of their innocence and their cuteness.
Yes.
That correlates directly with what children are in real life. Now, once again, I'm not saying that you're gonna go fuck kids in real life. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is it's degenerate, and it's a very clear concern. I want to ask you this. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just say you knew an avid lolicon in real life. I'm assuming you do, right?
Not in real life, online.
Okay, online. But let's just say, for example, you knew one in real life. Would you feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable having that person babysit your daughter, your son, a child in general?
If I knew them, I mean, if I didn't know them, then no, but they're a stranger. But if I knew them and I knew that they didn't have any harm to like babysit any harm that
Bro,
they
you
didn't
really
like,
you really dipping right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, don't pivot. Answer my question. If a lolicon
no,
babies, so you wouldn't feel comfortable having lolicon babysit your kid.
no, I wouldn't.
So why?
Because
Because they're attracted to minors, right? To drawn minors, I guess. But do you
yeah,
see how people
and
make that correlation of, yeah, I don't feel comfortable leaving this person with a kid? And that's a very
yeah,
fair correlation.
yeah, that's fair. I
Do you
mean,
think, yeah, I
people.
mean,
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. No, you go ahead.
no, sorry, yeah, no, I pretty much finished what I was going to say. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that when that comes into play, like I think that's where like we should kind of be able to make the distinction between pedophilia and lolicons because like lolicons like they don't have any ill will towards sex. Hold on.
Can you
Lolicons.
speak for all of them?
Yeah,
Well, not all of them
how
because
are you gauging these results? Do you talk to like every lolicon and ask them if they have any like sexual attraction to real kids?
no, I'm basing this like most of stuff that I know like from Japan because Japan has like the lowest number of cases of uh child abuse cases
Yeah, that's
despite
because their
being
age of consent is 13.
uh
I wouldn't use a nation that has an age of consent of 13 as a basis for your morals.
Then there's also the Czech Republic that also
What's their age of consent?
had
Shit, let's look it
I
up right now.
don't know.
Okay, Czech Republic. Let me see. I don't know if I'm spelling it right. Czech Republic age of consent. 15 years old.
They ain't even let niggas develop out here.
But like
So,
in the Czech
yeah. Go ahead.
in the Czech Republic, like when lollies or like other type of pornography was like legalized or like widespread, like they had like significant cases like of child abuse cases like decrease. Same thing happens in Japan, and I know like the age of consent, but like that, but
Well, yes, of course. If you lower the age of consent so much to a point where the I guess a 13-year-old would be able to give consent, then of course you're going to have lower child abuse cases. But you realize that those people are still technically children. They're underage. They're below 18.
mhm.
So of course you're going to have child abuse rates lower if what you consider child abuse isn't technically like what it is. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
According,
Like for example, if
oh,
since Japan has their age of consent at 13, um,
hmm
it would no longer be considered statutory rape to have sex with a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old in Japan. So of course the child abuse rates are going to be lower because what they consider a child or what they consider a minor isn't going to be child abuse anymore. You know what I'm
in
saying?
Japan, yeah, in Japan, like there is multiple different things that come into consideration when determining like whether a child has sex or not. Hold on.
You gonna just say all that and then say, hold on. That's uh
All right. Well, I once you get that response ready, I want to address something that I said on Twitter that I want to clear up.
All right. Uh, hold on.
Do you have like an article or?
All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. So many prefectures also have local corruption on minors or obscenity statutes, which raises the de facto age of consent to 16 to 18, unless they are in sincere romantic relationships, which determined by parental consent.
So what does that prove? I'm not.
That's
Can you elaborate? I'm not understanding what you were saying.
like despite it being like 13, like you like it's not going to like just any random 13-year-old or like an adult can't just have sex with a minor without like the parents consent, and like de facto age is like 16 to 18 due to like obscenity statutes that many local cities in Japan has.
Well, yeah, but we've established where Japan's morals lie. If they're willing to make the age of consent 13, then that person would technically no longer be considered, I guess you could say, a minor that would be having like that would be statutorily raped, if that makes sense. So if the parents consent, I mean, the parents already have it in their head that the age of consent is 13 and that it's morally, I guess, morally right in the country. So I wouldn't use the parents giving the consent for the kid to have sex. By the way, I want you to send me this article over Discord. I want to see this.
Oh, okay.
Is this a .com website? Is this like a .org, .net? Like what is it?
Hold on. I got this from, hold on. All right.
All right.
Age.
Let's see.
Yeah.
You can just copy and paste the link on here,
All right. Yeah. Road.
and then tell me the page that you found it.
It should take you to there, I believe. Hold on.
Age of consent Japan .net. All right. Age of consent is 13 years old. The age of consent is a consent in the minimum age at which an individual is considered legally old enough to consent to participation in sexual activity. Individuals aged 12 or younger in Japan are not legally able to consent to sexual activity, and such activity may result in prosecution for statutory rape or the equivalent local law. So, where was the part that you found this parental thing?
Under the paragraph.
Japan's statutory rape law is violated when an individual has consensual sex contact with a person under the age of 13. I'm not seeing it.
Uh,
Okay.
however, many.
Oh yeah, okay. Japan's base age of consent is lowest. However, many prefectures also have local corruption of minors or obscenity. So local, not federal. So this isn't a thing all over Japan. So some provinces or some areas in Japan have it, so you don't need parental consent either. Yeah. You understand that, right?
Right.
Local is relative to their provinces or whatever area. So this is not a federal law, and because it's not federal, that means it doesn't apply to all of Japan. So there are some provinces where you can fuck a 13-year-old and you don't need the parents' consent.
Right.
You don't see how that's wrong?
Oh, of course I see how it's wrong.
So why are you using their arguments for your thing?
I'm using Japan because all these have been culturalized and normalized there, and like there hasn't been like any proof that lollies like normalize the child abuse, or like studies have shown that like.
Oh, of course, I'm not making the claim that you normalize child abuse, but what I'm saying is you're sexualizing the children in the anime, and what I'm saying is that's pedophilia.
I don't, because pedophilia is attracted to the vulnerability of a child. Generally.
No. If you're a lolicon, yeah, it's not just the fact that they're vulnerable. It's everything. It's their age, their mind. I mean, I've been repeating the same thing for like 10 different times. That's what a pedophile is. So it doesn't say in the definition of pedophilia, oh, this is only for real people. No, it applies to everything. It applies to every type of child you can find, drawn or not.
Bro, imagine if it did though. Like, what would happen?
I guess it'd be normalized. It's fucked. But I want to bring this up, a thing I said on Twitter. So did you see the part where I said rape, what's it called? Rape play, people who enjoy rape play want to get raped?
Yeah.
What did you think of that? What did you think of that? I want to get your clear opinion.
Well, I thought she was wrong.
That's wrong?
I thought she was wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Here's I didn't articulate myself in the best way possible. Here's what I mean to say is that people who put themselves in the perspective of the rapee, in other words, the person being raped, probably doesn't mean they don't want to get raped in real life, because that would in both scenarios they would be the victim. In the fantasy they'd be the victim, in real life they'd be the victim. So it would constitute much more harm if that person had their fantasy of being raped enacted in real life. However, if someone is putting themselves in the perspective of the rapist, that's the problem. That's where I have a problem. Because you are literally fantasizing about raping someone else, about having sex with someone else without their consent. I think I'm not calling them rapists. But what I'm saying is if you're fantasizing about having sex with someone else without their consent, that is fucking weird.
Oh, I mean, that's kind of like your opinion.
I mean, are you saying it's not weird to fantasize about raping someone else?
I mean, weird is a subjective term. Is it not?
Of course it's subjective, but I feel like it's kind of objectively true that raping or wanting to rape someone else is weird, right?
I mean, yeah, I think it's weird. Some people might think it's weird.
Then why are you trying to like defend against it?
Then why are you? Okay, I guess I can see from your
perspective. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just saying that, hey, I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just saying, hey, that's kind of like your opinion.
Oh yeah, if it's your kink, whatever. As long as you don't, I guess as long as you don't do it in real life, I guess it's fine. I don't think it's fine personally. I guess objectively it could be fine. I don't think it's fine. I think it's fucking weird. That's why
wouldn't it be the same thing as lollies then? As long as they're not doing it in real life, then it's fine.
Well, yeah, because if you're not a child rapist, then I think you're at least in some way redeemable. But if you're people like you who are openly admitting to having an attraction to these drawn minors because of their innocence, because of their cuteness, you're a pedophile. I think that's weird.
You
Bro, with
acknowledge
half
that.
of this shit that you said, you would not be allowed in the schools at all.
Yeah. Do you like? Yeah.
You
That's a great point. Do you think a lolicon would be allowed in a school if they openly
no,
came out with their fetish?
no.
So do you see
But
the
like, if
Do
problem
you
you
with it?
think
were,
that's wrong?
I mean, I don't see a problem with like, well, like I acknowledge that lolicon is weird. I acknowledge that it is a taboo or thing like that. But I don't think that it's like wrong, like as you say it is.
Define wrong. What do you mean by wrong? Morally wrong or
Well,
legally wrong?
morally,
I think it's absolutely morally wrong. It's not legally wrong
well,
technically to be a pedophile. You're not going to get arrested if you come out as a pedophile. But I think it's
like
absolutely morally wrong to have fantasies about wanting to have sex with children.
objectively wrong. Then
I
who's
guess
it?
it's, I mean
Sex
I
with
guess
children,
yeah, I guess it's up to the person if they want to fuck a drawn minor. But I think me personally, I thought it was objectively wrong, but I guess not. I guess people justify it in their heads.
I mean, like if it's
I
like
I,
who's
I
it?
don't I
Like
don't I don't think the fact that they're not real is justified for you to want to jerk off to drawn kids. I'm sorry. There's no way you can convince me that it's justified or it's right.
I don't think it's like the basis of like hold on. Uh, okay. So you said that. I mean, you think it's like objectively wrong. Uh, I believe you think it's objectively wrong.
I thought it was.
Um,
I guess not.
I mean, the basis for like rational morality or objectively wrong is who's it harming. This is shown like with like murder or
No,
theft or
but
anything like
see, you're
that.
arguing the legality. I'm not arguing that these people are gonna fuck kids in real life. What I'm arguing is the fact that if you want to fuck a drawn minor, to me that's wrong. Because you are fetishizing
Then
the children.
I mean, that's kind of your. I mean, that's like your subjective opinion.
you're kind of deflecting just by saying that that's your opinion.
Yeah, you're not really responding to what I'm saying. You're saying, "Oh, it's my opinion." Well, yeah, of course it's my opinion. The whole video was pretty much my opinion saying it was wrong. But you're not offering me anything that would convince me otherwise.
I mean, like what? I mean, like you believe it's pedophilia. I mean,
Because it is.
I believe that.
It's textbook definition pedophilia. I'm not. This isn't arbitrary to the person. That's what the definition of pedophilia is.
Pedophilia is a
Look up the definition of pedophilia right now. It's the same thing on Merriam-Webster dictionary. It's the same thing on Wiki. It's the same thing on thesaurus.com. It's the same thing on dictionary.com. It's the same thing on a bunch of other trusted websites as well. That pedophilia is the sexual attraction to a minor or to a person below 13. Sorry. Drawn or not. Okay, so
pedophilia.
Oh, go ahead.
Pedophilia, also called pedophilic disorder or pedophilia disorder, in a conventional usage, a psychosexual disorder generally affecting adults characterized by sexual interest in prepubescent children or engaging or attempts to engage in acts with prepubescent children.
So are you saying you have a
your
mental
definition
illness?
pretty much just supported what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Well,
okay,
I'm gonna look up.
I wanna make something clear. I give lenience to people who are 7. Okay, like say are you above 18 or below 18? I'm not gonna ask your age. I just want to know if you're a minor or not.
I'm an adult. I'm an
You're an
adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
I give lenience to people who are minors who like let's just say for example there was a 17-year-old lolicon. I give that person far more lenience than I would say for example a 21-year-old lolicon. Because if you're a 17-year-old lolicon, you still have some time to become normal again. I don't know exactly if you would be considered a pedophile if you're I don't think you would. But if you're an adult, I mean you're the hormones are gone at that point. You don't have these massive amounts of hormones that are affecting your mindset. If you're 21 years old and you're lolicon, there's no excuses at that point. You can't hide behind the fact that you're a minor. You're an adult at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so let me run point by point here. Can give me your Give me your list of reasons, or your primary list of reasons why you think lolicon is, or why you think lolly is okay, and we can touch point by point. I want to give you a
Yeah.
chance to defend yourself.
All right. So I don't think Lolicon is wrong because it affects no one. Uh, no one is harmed by its existence,
Does that does
and
that does that make it right though?
I mean,
And by harm, do you mean just like ain't nobody out here fucking kids? Cause like
I mean, yeah, I guess by that logic, you wouldn't be fucking IRL kids, but I mean, don't you see a problem with having like with pretty much normalizing drawn CP?
it doesn't normalize it. It doesn't. Even like the simple like Lolicon looking at lollies isn't going to normalize it. There's no like evidence of that.
But that's what people in my replies were doing. They were trying to normalize. They were trying to bring up studies about like some fucking Joe Schmo who wrote some shitty book, like as if that's supposed to convince me. What lolicons do is they sit in their echo chambers and they repeat the same dog shit point over and over and over again. Now, of course, here's something I have to learn when I grow as a YouTuber is that I can't respond to every single person. So when a lolicon brings up their dog shit points, I can't respond to that person immediately because I already have 100 other people in my mentions.
Right.
So message out there to the lolicons who are watching this who think they won some point. You didn't. I just didn't have the time to respond to every single person. All right, so
shit, they still dragging you right now.
yeah, they're 100%. Because they're dwelling on that whole rape play point. To be fair, I didn't articulate myself that well on that point, but I feel like I articulated myself better. That what I have a problem with is if you put yourself in the perspective of the rapist, of the person committing the crime in your fantasy or whatsoever. I don't have a problem so much with the person who puts themselves in the perspective of the person being raped because in both scenarios you'd be a victim. Just want to make that clear. All right, so what's another point you have?
Well,
I feel like this is becoming semantical at this point. So yeah, go ahead.
okay. So, according to an article, is another article that I have. It's called "Does Drawn Pedophilic Images Encourage or Discourage Behavior?" It stated that hold do, 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 do. It stated hold
By the way, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and say these are written by professionals and not other lolicons. So
yeah. I lost it. All right, but like, I'm gonna ask you a question. If it's not harming anyone, like, because you admitted that it doesn't harm anyone, then why care?
I care
Like,
because if you're sexualizing a minor, drawn or not, I have a problem with that.
Why do you care
like,
about anything?
Yeah, exactly. Why
I
do
mean,
you? So that the point of not caring could apply to pretty much any type of something you consider immorally wrong. So okay, for example, let me ask you, what's something out there that you think is morally wrong?
hold on. All right.
Something you think is
Cancel
morally
culture.
wrong but not legally wrong.
Cancel culture.
Why do you care?
Because I don't want people to get canceled
Why
over
do you
like
care?
dumb things, saying the N word.
It's not. Yeah, it's not harming you. You can just close your computer. You see how that
But it's
point doesn't
harming
really
other people.
work?
But cancel culture harms like other people. People loses their careers over that stuff.
Well, of course, that's fair enough. Fair enough. But when I say morally wrong but not legally wrong, there are crimes being committed like people doxing, or no, I guess doxing, or no, doxing is technically a crime if you're doing it for the purpose of harassment. So I wouldn't use that as a point. So in the case of cancel culture, I would more side with you because the people who are canceling someone else are committing crimes by doxing people.
Right.
So that's not really a good example. Can you give me a different
Uh,
one? One that's morally wrong but not legally wrong.
what about abortion? Like, I mean,
Why do you care about abortion?
because, well, some people have argued about 6 month abortion or like 9 month abortion, and like they're killing or harming a fetus that's inside the woman's body.
But why
You
do you
mean that
care? I
nigga
mean,
ain't even alive yet, bro?
Yeah, they're not even technically alive, I guess, right? I mean, that's the point that most
I
people who are
mean,
pro-abortion who use that.
they still like feel things. They're still like
How
breathing
do you
or things
feel
like
things
that.
if you're not alive though?
I mean, I mean,
Don't you have
I
to be
mean,
alive to feel things?
shouldn't it be up to the woman, the person who's developing the baby, if they want to have that baby, right? I mean, why do you care?
I I mean, because they should I'm not against like 1 month abortion, but like 9 months, like when the baby is fully like developed, or like when the
Oh,
baby is
okay.
about to develop.
Your point is that at 1 month they're not alive, but at 9 months they're fully alive. That's not because okay, why is it different if it's 1 month to 9 months? I mean,
Well,
by your logic, they're both alive, right? They should both be wrong, right?
the baby is fully like developed,
The baby is fully alive.
not
Inside?
fully like not alive, but they're feeling stuff. They have a heartbeat and things like that.
Yeah, but why do you care? It should be up to the
Have a
woman,
Because it's
right?
heartbeat
I
and
mean,
die.
because it's harming something.
this whole point of not caring isn't a good point, or
I mean,
of
if
it not harming someone isn't a good point. Yeah, there are tons of things that don't harm us, but we still have a problem with them. If I have a problem with the fucking wars in Afghanistan, if it doesn't harm me, then I shouldn't care, right? That's not really a good point.
not harming you, but like the people in general, because Afghanistan is still harming people. It's still immoral.
But you realize that there are some lolicons who are pedophiles who become child molesters, right? That's undeniable.
Yeah,
Are you going to tell me that there's not at least one lolicon in the world who hasn't fucked a kid in real life?
yeah, but based on
So
that
then, by that
logic,
logic, it affects them. It
but
could
it doesn't.
potentially affect children.
But there's no like evidence that it was because of lolicons. Just because you're a lolicon and you might abuse like a child doesn't mean it was directly tied to lolicons.
But but you realize that. But okay, what I want you to answer me this. Don't stop pivoting and answering something else. What I'm asking you is, do you think there is at least one person in the world who is a lolicon who has went on to rape a kid in real life?
Yes,
Okay, so then your point is moot. Because that directly harms children. I guess it doesn't harm you, technically, but it could potentially harm children.
just because it potentially harms children doesn't mean like it's morally
Who
wrong. Like
do you think is more likely to fuck a child? A regular normal person or someone who's a lolicon?
someone who's a lolicon.
There we go. So you realize that there's more of a correlation between lolicons becoming child molesters potentially versus someone who's normal becoming a child molester potentially.
Yeah, but anyone could become a child molester. You do
Yeah,
realize that.
but you realize that there are certain things that could potentially influence you more so to become a child molester.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in an environment where you're normalizing sexualizing drawn children, do you not see how that could potentially be? Do you not see how that could potentially be a threat to real children potentially?
Sure. I mean, if
And there we go.
if there
Okay,
was like
we agree. We agree. Perfect. We agree.
if there was undeniable proof that lolicons normalize the sexualization of children
They
or child
do.
abuse,
I've gotten 100 fucking replies on my Twitter where they normalize it.
Bro, I got like 5 of them calling me ignorant just for saying I don't think that it's like
For saying
morally
that
right.
it's wrong to want to fuck a drawn kid.
because they don't believe it's wrong. That's not them normalizing.
Yeah, but just
it.
because they don't
absolutely
believe it's wrong doesn't mean that I believe it's right, you know? Like you got to meet somewhere in the middle, have a discussion on it and actually come to like an endpoint instead of just being like, "Oh, I don't care," or saying like it doesn't affect you here or there. Like you trying to pull out all
instead of
these
bombarding
excuses
you
out
with
your
bullshit.
ass.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Like instead of bombarding me with the same point I've already responded to. Okay, you know, actually, here's something better. I want you to describe to me every single problem you had with my video. We can go point by point.
I can play the video if you want.
You can just look at. Yeah, go ahead. Well, don't play it right now because I don't want the audio of the thing interfering with your voice.
All right, so I'm gonna lower it and just look at the closed captions.
I would have thought you would have maybe prepared for. I gave you a day. I feel like that was plenty of time to learn.
I mean, I kind of prepared. Okay, my main problem with the video is that your video was filled with like opinionated or general, like wide generalization.
Yeah, of course. It's an opinion that pedophilia is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wasn't passing off the idea that they're child molesters as fact. My opinion was that it's wrong, and I don't think people should be normalizing it. So of course, yeah, it's an opinionated video because it's an opinion.
Hold on. I also disagree with the fact, like in one of your points, you kind of like you researched like something about lollies and CP and said it was unfortunate that it's not comparable due to it due to the same points. Something like that. I
What do you mean?
believe that was in the video.
The part
Like,
where I said
hold
I
on.
was hoping. Okay, when I said comparable, I'm not saying that the act of consuming lolly porn is the exact same as comparing it to someone watching real CP. What I'm saying is I was hoping I would be able to find some source that would prove that they're comparable in the sense of the charges and the sentences. I'm I'm not trying to demean people who are involved in child abuse. What I'm saying is that I was hoping I would find some source that would prove me, or that would prove my point that lolly porn has the same sentencing or similar sentencings and charges to real CP.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not I'm what I'm doing I'm not comparing the actions that take place when you make child porn versus the actions that take place when you make lolly porn. That's not what I'm comparing. And
Mm-hmm.
you and a bunch of other dipshit lolicons try to like misconstrue my point that I was comparing both actions as the exact same thing, which is ridiculous.
I mean,
Yeah, nice
I mean,
straw man.
I okay. I kind of saw it like that. That was my fault.
So, but
Like if the end of
you
the
saw it that way, but you purposely chose to interpret it the wrong way.
no, that's just how I saw it. I thought you were just comparing the two,
But didn't
and
you?
I
I mean,
also
okay, whatever. But I guess now we have that clarified. That's not what I'm
yeah.
comparing, because and you're never gonna find a soundbite where I compare the two in action, because that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I maybe I should clarify better. I was hoping that I could find it comparable in charges and in sentencing, because I feel like both are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had another point in my head. I'm slipping away. Okay, yeah, go ahead. What was another point or a problem you had with my video?
I mean, the way that you framed it, like to me, it seemed like you was just saying it like objectively, which you already said that like it was like your opinion is subjective. So that's basically like what I had the
Well,
problem
yeah,
with.
it's objectively true that lolicons are pedophiles, but my opinion lied in the fact that it should be banned. It should be wrong. I'm not saying I never made this like huge claim that they're like I said, I never made this huge claim that they're child molesters, but most of it was my opinion that this is wrong, that this shouldn't be produced or consumed in any way.
Yeah. Then
That was my point.
I mean, I disagree, but like that's your opinion.
I
Like
wait, you disagree with my opinion in the video that okay,
yes,
whatever. All
yeah.
right. Well, I guess it's semantical. I guess it's arbitrary to the person. Now, I think, and here's a greater discussion we can have. I think that what was I gonna say? I think it's too late now to ban lolly porn. I think it's way too late, because now lolly porn has been normalized as this subculture of people who consume the porn. I think if you were to ban lolly now, it would cause this huge uproar of free speech, of right and wrong, of legality, and it'd be a giant shit show. So while yes, I would like it to be banned in without this uproar, that's not going to happen because it's already been
yeah.
normalized, but as a subculture.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't like banning it. Just wouldn't like. I just don't see the benefit in banning it. Like
People would stop
it. Like,
normalizing sexualizing children as drawings.
I mean, just
We
because
What's the
wouldn't be
people are.
benefit?
having this conversation.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm not normalized to it. I'm just having this discussion with you because I
Oh,
think
bro,
it's
you normalized
You're
as
normalizing it.
hell, bro.
You're pulling up sources and you were liking replies in my comments that were normalizing it.
people who have.
You pulled up the age of consent in Japan as if that was supposed to prove your point. When you're not, you shouldn't be basing their morals with the morals of the U.S.
Well, I'm thinking like looking from the outside looking in because lolicons are from Japan, so it makes sense to look at where it came from and like how they uh experience lolicons and how they
No,
perceive
but
like pedophilia and things.
that's not what you were doing when you brought up the point. When you brought up the age of consent of Japan, you were using as a way to justify that what's it called? Well, you were making a point about the age of consent in Japan, like as if it was supposed to justify your
I
what's
made
it
the
called?
argument that Japan has the I made the argument that Japan has the lowest cases of CP. You brought up the age of consent.
Yeah, like, okay, there, perfect. So you brought up the age of consent of Japan as a way to justify that child abuse rates go lower, but we already clarified
I
that.
said that.
What'd you say?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So you brought up the age of consent in Japan as a way to justify that child abuse rates go lower, but we already clarified that yes, if you lower the age of consent in Japan, it's of course they're going to go lower because what is defined as a minor in Japan is being stretched so much to the point where only prepubescent people cannot give consent. So we've already clarified that that's not a good point.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh,
Okay, next. Well, let's go. Let's move on to the next point. Unless you have something else to add to that
yeah.
other one.
Uh, uh, I booped. No, I don't have anything.
Okay, so
I have a
what was?
question. I have
Oh
a
yeah, go ahead.
question. Um, so a lot of the replies that I got on Twitter, whenever I was like trying to say that it was weird and all that, I got a lot of quote retweets of people being like, "Oh, we know it's weird. We don't care." Do you think people like that, like saying things like that, does that make this better at all?
It makes it neutral
How does
because
it make it
Wait,
neutral and not
neutral in
wrong?
what way?
because if they because like even like anything in general like because again weird is subjective in this context. They know that they believe that's weird. They know that's weird, so they just don't care about it.
So
Saying that
they
like being
literally
weird
agree that
is
it's weird.
Yeah, they agree that's weird, but they
So
don't think that's wrong. Being weird and wrong is like two different
if
things.
you think
when
it's weird but don't think it's wrong, isn't that in itself normalizing it though?
yeah, because
What?
you're using the term of weird to normalize the consumption of animated children with their assholes spread apart. Maybe not in all cases, but
Uh,
you're normalizing the children in sexualized like positions or whatever. You're normalizing it by saying it's weird instead of wrong.
uh,
You're
no.
I feel like you and other lolicons are using weird as a blanket term.
We like how? Because we wrong wrong is like in this instance is subjective, right?
I
Wrong in this
guess, yeah.
instance is
I mean, I
subjective.
guess in all cases of morality, the word wrong is subjective.
I mean, but like
We wrong is subjective in the sense of rape play. Wrong is subjective in the sense of age play. Wrong is subjective in the sense of any weird kink you have is subjective to the word being wrong.
yeah, but like
The Yeah, go ahead.
same thing could be said about weird. Just because it's weird or disgusting or anything like that doesn't mean that it's necessarily wrong.
Of course, it's an
Because
All right,
that
opinion. It's an opinion. So how can you deny my opinion by saying, "Oh, of a fucking, you can't say it's wrong." Of course I can. It's my opinion. If I think something's wrong, then I'm gonna say it's wrong.
exactly.
Exactly.
I
So
mean, it's your
why are you
opinion. Like,
debating the fact that it's? I mean, okay, whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's your opinion. So like, I can't like, I can't like shoot down your opinions.
showed up to a debate not trying to shoot down an opinion.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
I thought that was the whole point of this debate was to debate like if it's wrong
I
or not.
thought you was making, I thought you made a lot of ridiculous claims, and I came to refute those claims.
But
Like,
yeah, like you're taking this appeal to appeal of authority, but you've been taking L after L after L on this debate. We've literally gone point by point so far, and you haven't given me a good reason to change my opinion or to convince me that it's not wrong.
Honestly, it
besides
don't
the fact,
matter what the nigga asked. Like you've been saying the same shit since I came in.
Yeah.
hmm,
Okay. Well, let next point. Let's move on to the next point. Is there another point you had a problem with?
no. Mm-mm.
You didn't have a problem with the Ted Bundy point because I think I want to clarify that one.
Tin Bunny?
The Ted Bundy point.
No, I don't know what you're saying
Okay,
about that
well
point.
there was a point in the video where I mentioned Ted Bundy's porn addiction as a warning for people who have massive porn addictions to weird shit. Now, some people misinterpreted my point as saying, "Oh, you're comparing us to Ted Bundy." That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is I was using Ted Bundy as an example of someone who has a massive porn addiction to weird shit and how that might potentially be a danger to society. Now, because of the what I'm saying is that if you do you not see a problem with someone having a massive porn addiction to weird shit?
I do. I do.
So and do you agree with the point that there are lolicons out there who pretty much center their life around lolly?
Yeah.
So do you not see a problem with that person having a massive porn addiction to underage children drawn or animated or whatever you want to put it?
Yeah. I mean,
Porn addiction in general is a problem, regardless of if it's
yeah.
weird or if it's not.
Yeah. Porn addiction is a problem,
So
despite it being
that
all
was the point I was making in the Ted Bundy thing. Just for anybody out there who is misconstruing my point, that was the point I was making, is that porn addiction could lead to you being a potential threat to society.
Yeah.
So that's all the problems you had. Did you have any other things you wanted to mention?
Nah. Mm-mm.
So all right, well, there are no other lolicon talking points that you have for me. Pretty much is what you're saying.
Yeah. None.
All right. Well, do you want to shout yourself out? Do you have any closing remarks? Do you have any closing statements?
Uh, I just don't think lolicons is bad because and I think that as long as it doesn't harm anyone, that people shouldn't care. That's all I have.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. Do you want to put your channel in the shout yourself out right now, or do you not care?
My channel is Gamer King 5. I talk about a lot of like lolly stuff and like drama on YouTube and things like that. You can subscribe if you want.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this is the last time for everybody watching. This is the last time I'm going to mention lolly. I don't want to touch this community ever again. This was the biggest pain in the ass since I started my YouTube channel. And everybody who's come at me with lolicon talking points has not given me any reason to side with them at all. They haven't brought up a good talking point. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.